Good morning, all. I just wanted to do a quick video about Palestinian children and what they're going through throughout this war that's continuing to go on. So whatever you do, if you think that things are being solved, they are not being solved. Something has gotten me kind of bubbling and hot and angry about, people supporting Israel, and I support all lives, but there are still problems in Palestine. There will always be problems in Palestine. And the trauma that these kids are experiencing and the families are experiencing is really upsetting and angering me that, we are here trying to, we're talking about a land that belongs to the Palestinians and they are being kicked out, okay? Because we want to give land to the Israelis. It doesn't belong to them. Okay, so I want to show you this article that's really upsetting, and I want you to be aware of what's really going on and how grateful we should be for what we currently have in our school systems. Every time I see a complaint, every time a student, says something or does something or, showing how ungrateful they are for what they're receiving in the classroom, I like to remind students of what war and what education under the occupation really is. So settlers demolished school, leaving Palestinian children without education. Look at this. Israeli extremist settlers on Thursday. This was this past Thursday. Okay. This article was written on, it was October 7th, 2026, but it was posted on October 7th. So it was last October, but Israeli extremists on Thursday demolished the Yanun Co-Educational Primary School in the southern Nablus district, which had been serving 15 students from grades 1 through 6 about 8 months after residents of Khurbat Yanun were forcibly displaced. In a statement, the Palestinian Ministry of Education and Higher Education said the demolition constitutes a new crime against Palestinian children and a flagrant violation of international humanitarian law and conventions guaranteeing the right to education and protecting educational institutions from attack. The ministry said the school had long served as a key facility ensuring access to education for children in the community, providing classes for students from the 1st to 6th grades. Can you imagine if you were a 1st grader and you went to school to get an education and this is what happens? It added that the demolition comes within what it described as a systematic policy aimed at undermining the education sector, increasing pressure on Palestinian communities, and depriving children of their basic right to education. The ministry said it would continue in coordination with partner institutions to take all necessary steps to ensure the continuity of education for affected students. Despite ongoing violations, it also called on the international community, the United Nations, and human rights organizations to assume their legal and moral responsibilities take urgent action to protect education in Palestine and hold Israeli authorities accountable for repeated violations targeting students and schools. It's terrible. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this atrocity? You know, it's terrible. So let me show you. Show you this video. Let me show you this video. I want to know your thoughts. Well, this is interesting. So I want you guys to be aware of how much they're trying to hide information from you. Okay, so I'm going to share this article with you. You guys have to know the truth. You have to know what's going on. So this university, which is a good university, but they canceled a speech. So New Jersey's largest university canceled his graduation speech. So he delivered it on YouTube. He did the speech on YouTube instead. Rutgers University officials canceled the speech alumnus Rami El-Gondor was set to deliver at this week's School of Engineering convocation, but he delivered his remarks anyway on YouTube. El-Gondor released a video of his speech via social media on Wednesday in response to university officials disinviting him from Friday's convocation ceremony at Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway. Before delivering his prepared remarks to the camera, he addressed Rutgers' decision to cancel his speech after some students raised concerns about some of his social media posts related to Israel and the war in Gaza. The administration decided that accommodating this handful of students was worth altering the graduation experience for your class of 1,000 students and your friends and family, he said. El-Gondor, a Rutgers alumnus and biotech executive, was publicly announced as the convocation speaker for the engineering school in mid-April. The university withdrew the invitation a few weeks later after some graduates said they would not attend the ceremony if he spoke. The Rutgers School of Engineering dean made the right decision to disinvite the speaker, the university said in a statement. Our concerns about the speaker were valid. No graduate should have to choose between their personal convictions and celebrating their hard-earned academic achievements at convocation, the university statement said. El-Gondor, who is Egyptian American, has been outspoken in his criticism of Israel and the war in Gaza. He regularly posts pro-Palestinian commentary on social media, including statements accusing Israel of committing genocide and war crimes. He has also been involved in film projects focused on humanitarian issues, including serving as an executive producer of The Voice of Hind Rajab, a documentary about a 5-year-old Palestinian girl killed by Israeli forces. Now, mind you, this movie has won 1 million awards. If you look here, I'll share the screen in a second. let me see, I forget. So it has won. Look at all of these awards this movie has won. Hello. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, subscribe. So I'm going to share this article right here, or this little YouTube thing. So this movie has won. It won the Silver Lion Grand Jury Prize for Venice Film Festival in Italy, Cinema for Peace Awards, San Sebastian International Film Festival, Film Fest Gent, and Golden Globe. So it's won several awards, and it's all about, you know, the Palestinian cause and this little girl that was killed during the conflict in Israel. So I just want you to remember things that, you know, that go on in the world, that you don't believe everything you read. In his convocation speech delivered on YouTube, El Gundor wove together personal anecdotes and pop culture references, including mentions of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Leonardo da Vinci, and Superman, to emphasize themes of empathy, resilience, and the power of kindness. He encouraged graduates to seek out a diversity of experiences. The more things you say yes to, the more people you connect with, the greater luck you'll have. That's the leverage of experience. After giving his convocation speech on YouTube, El Gundor also spoke about censorship. He said he had not planned to use the word Palestine at all in his Rutgers speech. The reality is they cannot allow someone like me to be a role model, he said, adding, because I can be this successful without bowing to the systematic racism and dehumanization, you can too. His release of his speech came as many on the Rutgers campus continue to debate whether it was fair to rescind his invitation to appear at the convocation. On Tuesday, the Rutgers University Senate voted to censor the dean of the School of Engineering, Albert Coutinho, for rescinding El Gundor's invitation. The Rutgers Senate, a group of students, faculty, and campus community members that serve as an advisor to the university's president and governing board, also called for a formal review of the decision to cancel the speaker. The Rutgers Senate took issue with the dean's decision to put the needs of some students over others. No commencement or convocation decision will dissatisfy every member of the university, the Rutgers Senate resolution said. Such decisions should be informed by meaningful consultation with the affected constituencies and guided by transparent, consistent, and inclusive decision-making processes rather than ad hoc responses to pressure from any particular group, the group said. Rutgers faculty unions also objected to the cancellation of the speech. Interesting. The executive councils of the Rutgers chapter of the American Association of University Professors and the Rutgers Adjunct Faculty Union issued a statement calling the decision to cancel El Gundor's appearance a suppression of free expression. They accused the university of applying a Palestinian exception to their stated commitments to free speech. The New Jersey chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations welcomed the Rutgers Senate decision to censor the dean. They are right to criticize his catering to a select few over the collective good, said Noreen Akhtor, CAIR-NG's public affairs director. If Rutgers has any interest in earning back the trust of students, faculty, and alumni, and demonstrating a commitment to freedom of expression, the administration should immediately reverse this decision and allow Mr. El Gundor to speak. The decision to disinvite El Gundor drew national attention from free speech advocates. PEN America, a nonprofit group that advocates for free expression, cited El Gundor's disinvitation at Rutgers as part of a broader effort to cancel controversial commencement speakers across the country. It is also legitimate for students and others to voice their concerns and to protest invited speakers, but we are in danger of making the cancellation of speakers a given if people raise their voices loud enough, and that is a concerning norm to reinforce, says Kristen Shavardian, PEN America's Director of Higher Education and Free Expression. So, you know, it's really sad what's going on in the Middle East. You need to know you need to keep, you know, your, you know, try to, you know, always remember that, you know, the world, doesn't want to allow you to, you know, to hear things. Okay. So I wanted to show you a piece.
Wait, you don't write anything down after?
You need to keep up with the news in a way that informs you, that, you know, that helps you understand what's going on in the world, instead of, you know, listening to
Palestine was against their beliefs. The administrators decided that accommodating this handful of students was worth altering the graduation experience for your class of 1,000 students and your friends and family. They pretend that none of us have ever sat through a speech where the speaker's presence or beliefs challenged or contradicted our own, like some of your professors, for example. These students have every right to express their beliefs, but so do the students for Palestine, who, instead of receiving the type of institutional backing that canceled my speech, get doxxed, fired, and blacklisted. Such is the imbalance of privilege. When Rutgers leadership found out they were on the wrong side of this issue, they concocted an excuse that was as flimsy as it was false. Rather than recoil in horror at the unconscionable and inhumane treatment of Palestinians, they focused on a tweet. That's the depth of the moral bankruptcy and racism that renders these leaders unfit for office. They also left the First Amendment in tatters. This is called the Palestine exception, according to the Center for Constitutional Rights. We have free speech in this country
you need to know
unless
what
you
your
speak up
rights
for
are.
Palestine. In fact, the Associated Press guidelines outlaw the use of the word Palestine. That's systemic bias at work. So here's my speech, as it was intended, with no alterations. There are just a few bits of irony that I'll point out along the way. And I'll come back after the speech with some reflections in light of this past week. Before I start, I want to thank everyone for their support, especially Rutgers students, faculty, and alumni.
So as you can see, you know, he's not talking about Palestine in his speech. Okay, I'm gonna let you listen in a minute. But he's talking about a broader things. And, you know, just because some little weasel was looking at his social media, everyone has a right to free speech. But
Alumni, my family and friends, journalists, and principled organizations like IMEU, Jewish Voices for Peace, PEN America, and CCR. So many people of conscience, true Americans, who stood up for what's right and against this fascism. Okay, here goes. Thank you, President Holloway, Dean Coutinho, distinguished faculty, proud families, and most importantly, the Rutgers class of 2026. I have to be honest, when Dean Coutinho asked me to give this address, I immediately said yes. What a privilege and an honor it is. This place was called the Rack, but unlike an RU basketball game, you will walk out of here a winner today. Beyond our shared experiences, there's another reason I feel a personal connection to your class. Let's start with the first lever. The price is the price. Don't compromise your dreams. Like the Princess Bride.
all right, so I don't want to get you know, I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but I just want you to see that what's happening in the world is people are being silenced for expressing the truth. Okay. And Palestine, that is, I just want to preface this by saying I don't believe in any violence. No violence. Okay, I'm a very peaceful person. I believe we all need to be treated with respect. Okay, but I do want you to see that the media doesn't give the truth sometimes. And you have to, when you read the news, make sure you're looking at every single type of news before you start believing one thing over the other. Okay. Be a critical thinker. If someone is saying, someone's giving you one piece of information, then you need to start thinking outside the box. Like what is really going on here? Well, why am I hearing this about Palestine and they're telling me this about, what's going in Israel? But why am I hearing articles about people getting silenced? Why am I hearing articles about Palestinian children getting killed or, whatnot, or, their schools being taken away? Okay. So you have to constantly, okay, my brain always thinks like that, what else is really going on? I'm always curious about, okay, well, wait, but I'm hearing news about this. Okay. So always dig for the truth. Always dig for the truth with anything. Don't believe everything you hear in the world. Okay. Don't be naive. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. Okay. All right. Did everyone subscribe? Don't forget to subscribe. Okay. Wherever you're from, India, Japan, America, don't forget to subscribe. Okay. And this channel is for appropriate responses, not inappropriate responses. I don't care what your response is. I will never silence you, but you have to be argue your point in a professional and educational way. Okay. All right. We want to say free Palestine. Let's all say free Palestine. Free Palestine. Let's all say it. That's important. If you believe in that, say it. Let's remember what's really important. I mean, humanity. The Hind Rajab movie was, I think it was made, Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix was the executive producer of the voice of Hind Rajab. So here, I'll show you. So this is, I don't know if it's before your time, but he executive produced it, all of them, because they believe in humanity. Brad Pitt, Bruna Mara is she's an actress and she's Joaquin Phoenix's wife, I think. But all of these people, really believe in Palestine. Okay. And it's unfortunate that we have to come this far to finally believe in what's right. So anyway, that's all I'm going to leave you with. Have a great day. Please, please, please subscribe to my videos. Subscribe to my work. I'm trying to, if I go live, I want people to get on here. Let's talk, make a comment, whatever it is. Okay. Much love. Have a good Saturday. I'll probably be on all day. I have to get my, tomorrow I have to get the TB test reading. Looks like it's going away, but anyway, it'll be fun. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.